Today's learning is sponsored by John Cowell in memory of his father, Dr. Michael Cowell, Michal Rabbi Yaakov. To sponsor a day of learning, send me an email.
Okay, we're on Perek Tet Mishnah Zayin, Tet Zayin of Kilayim. We're going to continue talking about the idea of what clothing a person has to be aware of or careful of when he puts them on for the problem of Kilayim baged, of wool and linen together. It says the Mishnah, Habarsin, v'habardisin, v'hadalmitikion, uminalot apinun, lo yilbash behem ad sheyivdok. These are all kinds of different kinds of garments. So barsin, these are wool garments. The Kahati says barsin. Some say it's from barsin and bardikin, different places, from bars and bardak. Okay. Others say barsin, like the Bartanura says. Some are asuyim mitzemer, right? Okay. Elu dakin ve'elu avin. Barsin is dakin, thin garment that you cover the beds. It's like a bedspread. And bardisin are thicker wool garments. And dal mekitiyon says it's a, okay, the one opinion he says it comes from Dalmatia. And some say it's like, he says it's a michnesei tzemer. Dal mekitiyon is a kind of pantsuit that they would wear. I mean, he says batei shokaim, you wear it on the hips. Umilala tapinon, milapinino, listen to the Bartanura. Min al shosim mipsolet tzemer, it's a kind of shoe that they wore. Lo yibashim ad sheyivdok. You shouldn't wear them until you check, i.e., just like we do today. When a person buys a suit and he's not sure if it's a wool garment, there's always the possibility that it was sewn with linen stitches, and therefore it has to be checked. Rabbi Yossi says, Haba'im mechof hayam u'medinat hayam einam tzrichim b'dika. Those which come from the chof, from the shore, and medinat hayam, and from foreign countries, they don't have to check. Mipnei shecheskatam b'kanvus. At the time, there was a chazakah that it was from kanvus. Remember we said kanvus was hemp. So even though it might have looked like linen, it was not. And therefore, there was an assumption, you could assume that the chazakah was that it was okay. It's interesting sometimes, I remember sometimes when you buy a tuxedo, so then there's a chazakah, many types of suits, if it's made in America, or et cetera, there's a chazakah that it's assumed that they've checked many, many times, and there's a very strong degree of probability that if there's no shatnez in it, and therefore you can rely on that chazakah. Uminal shel zered, ein bo shel kilayim. What's a minal shel zered? The Bartanura says, minalim shel or, it's a leather, soft leather, it's a leather shoe. Umichupim bifnim, bilevadim o b'tzemer av. And inside, it's got wool. So it's like Uggs. Leather on the outside, soft on the inside. Okay? Therefore he says, and the first opinion is, you don't have to worry about kilayim. Why? Because there was never a problem of pishtan. They never used linen in it. He quotes the Rambam, the Kahati quotes the Rambam, because the Rambam learns totally different. The Rambam says it was a certain kind of shoe, it was like a clog. Minal Shazar was like a clog that didn't have on the heel. And it was literally kilayim, it was kilayim, but because it was on the heel, it was on the foot. And the bottom of the foot isn't nene, it doesn't have a knob because you have very thick skin on the bottom of your feet. Ein mo mishu kilayim. Even though it was kilayim, there was no problem of the isur of kilayim. That's the Rambam's opinion. Nonetheless, the Bartanura says, Ein choshishim pishtam b'orvem. There was not ein bo kilayim, meaning don't worry about it. It's not that there is kilayim, you don't have to worry about it like the Rambam, but you don't have to worry because we assume that there was no kilayim in that particular shoe. Okay, if you have any comments or questions, you can feel free to contact me at rspolter@gmail.com. And I'll dedicate the learning to the memory of my father, Rav Simcha ben Yitzchak Kalman. Have a great day.